Our movie starts today with a flash of light that turns out to be a horse and destroys all the crops. The next day, the owner calls his sons so they can look at it. The father asks them to keep watch during the night to find out who did it. But when the dad leaves them, they tell Ivan that he is the youngest, so he should take charge of this. Ivan says, well, there is no choice, and he sets up some traps. Night comes and the horse appears, and Ivan catches it, but the horse drags him and takes him to the sky. Then it throws him to the ground, and the horse also falls into a swamp. Ivan tries to get it out, but it is too big. Fortunately, he has a machine and manages to pull it out. The horse is very weak, so it starts crying. Ivan tells it that he forgets it, but it should not come back around here anymore. The horse accepts, so he frees it. Ivan looks at the crops and they are destroyed, and he says his dad is going to kill him, but oh well, the night is gone and tomorrow will be another day. In the morning, he hears someone talking and finds out it is a donkey or a little horse that can talk. They become friends, and the little horse gives him the other horses as a gift. It also tells Ivan that he has to fulfill a mission and that it will accompany him. Then he hears the voice of the dad, who is coming super furious because the crop is destroyed. The little donkey tells him, let's escape. Get on, I will carry you super fast. Then he calls the horses. It occurs to Ivan to sell them to give the money to his dad so that he forgives him. He arrives at a kingdom, and all the people are amazed when they see the horses, so they offer him money to buy them. But they do not manage to convince Ivan because he wants a lot of money. The king looks at the horses and wants them for himself, so he goes to Ivan and tells him to give them to him. Since he is the king, he gets them for free. Ivan is left sad, but the little donkey calls them, and the two horses run out with the king. They throw him off, and he gets covered in flour. Ivan starts laughing. The king, super angry, tells him that is not done, so I am going to execute you. But the advisors tell him that would be unfair, sir, since laughing is not a crime, and if you do it, the people will start criticizing you. They advise him to give him a job so he doesn't look bad to the people. So they put him to take care of the animals. The king starts dreaming about Ivan and sees that he is dancing while they cut off his own head. He wakes up super scared, looks out the window, and sees him happy. He realizes that Ivan has a lot of leadership and that he gets along well with the people, so he sees him as a threat. That is why he decides to eliminate him, but it is difficult because he has not done anything wrong. An advisor tells him to send him on a mission, and if he does not fulfill it, you will have an excuse to execute him. The mission is to find the Firebird. Ivan accepts and leaves. The little donkey tells him that catching those birds is super difficult, and nobody has achieved it because of all the dangers that surround them. But Ivan is going to try it. There is a nut that makes anyone fall asleep, and fortunately, the bird likes it, so they are going to use it. They arrive at the place and put the nuts down. Everything starts to light up, and Moltres arrives and eats the nuts. The plan works because it falls asleep for a little bit, but then it wakes up and is going to take away the bag of nuts. After that, it attacks them. The little horse defends Ivan, but the bird is very strong and burns everything around the place. Upon eating the last nut, it falls into the water and they catch it. The bird, seeing that it has no way out, starts crying, but Ivan feels guilty and sets it free. Out of gratitude, it drops a feather. The donkey tells him not to return to the kingdom because they will kill you. Ivan tells him, but I have the feather, so be calm. With this, I can prove that I found the phoenix bird. And the donkey was right, because they are already about to execute him, since the feather lost its fire. Everyone starts laughing at him, and he is almost gone. But at that moment, the feather starts to fill with fire, and Moltres appears. Everyone is surprised. So since he fulfilled the mission, the king has to set him free. An advisor tells him to send him to look for a princess. I don't think he will manage to arrive, but if he does, that's good, so your majesty can get married. Time is leaving the train for the king, since he is already about to turn 80 years old, so Ivan goes to fulfill the mission. He arrives at the place, and it is an ice castle. He tries to enter, but an invisible wall appears. It occurs to them to use the feather to melt the ice, and it works. He gets close there and finds several princesses. The feather guides him to the real one. She gets disappointed since a peasant rescued her instead of a king, so she decides to jump to kill her sorrows. She jumps and "Goodbye, princess," but Ivan says, "I have not traveled this path just for you to die." So he jumps and sees that the princess used her dress as a parachute. Everything is fine until it rips. The good thing is that the donkey appears and it turns out that he has wings, so he saves them. The princess passes out on the way, and Ivan starts falling in love with her and is about to kiss her. But the donkey tells him to remember that she will marry the king. The princess also falls in love with him. He arrives at the castle. The king says, "Damn, this boy is impressive." He gives a lot of gold and things to Ivan, but he does not care since he only wants the princess. So at night he goes to visit her. They confess their love to each other. At that moment, someone knocks on the door and Ivan escapes. They go to dress her so that she goes to see the king. The princess says, "Damn, I never thought he was a spoiled and ugly old man." But she pretends to like him so that they don't kill her. As an excuse to delay the wedding, she says that she needs her grandmother's ring that was lost in the sea. They are never going to find it. But the foolish Ivan says, "I will go for it." The princess says, "The fool already ruined my plan." The donkey tells him, "And how do you plan to find a ring in the sea?" Ivan answers him, "God knows, but tomorrow will be another day." That night, he has a dream where the location of the ring is revealed to him. It is inside a big well that turned into an island. In the morning, he guides himself by the dream and finds it. The whale is chained up. The horse understands its language. It tells him that by mistake, it swallowed some ships and they tied it up to punish it, and it starts crying. It occurs to Ivan to make it sneeze, so he gets inside it and tickles it, and miraculously, it works. The ships come out and the whale is free. But they forgot to look for the ring. Since the whale is grateful, it sends it to them with a crab. Ivan gets sad since this will make the princess get married. He arrives at the castle and decides to go first to see the princess. But the advisor sees him, so they surround the place. Unfortunately, they catch Ivan. The king finds out what has happened. The little donkey shoots at him and he dies. The princess does not know what to do to free her beloved. At that moment, a little chick arrives and tells her to follow it, and it turns out that the donkey is still alive and he sent the little chick. The princess tells the donkey, "I told the king that he could make himself younger with a recipe from the grandmother, but it does not always work since it can kill the one who practices it." And she did it so that the king would do it and leave them alone. But it turns out that it went wrong for her because the advisor told the king to test the method with Ivan to see if it works. This process consists of the person getting into boiling water, then into freezing water, and finally into milk. But there is a secret for it to work. You have to use the things they have obtained, the ring and the feather. It would only lack the flower of life. So the donkey goes to look for it running. The king says, "If you survive, I forgive you." But the princess throws the ring, so he saves himself and passes to the next container of freezing water. But Moltres helps him with the feather, and he falls into the last one. Meanwhile, we see that the little donkey finds the flower which tells him, "To cut me, you have to die." So the little donkey sacrifices himself. The people think that Ivan died, but the flower falls, and that way Ivan manages to save himself and complete the test. The king says, "Wow, it works." So he jumps into the container of boiling water. But he doesn't burn. He just comes out in a bubble and goes flying away. Since the people were left without a ruler, they name Ivan as king. Ivan is super sad for his friend the little donkey, so they go to look for him and find him agonizing. He is about to die, so they hug each other. But the princess starts laughing and tells him that flower is a liar. It always says that to everyone, so be calm. You are going to last many years. And they all end up happy forever after. And with that, our movie ends. Hope you liked the recap. If you reached the end, don't forget to leave a like on the video and write us a nice comment as you always do. And for those watching us for the first time, subscribe to the channel to see all the upcoming recaps. See you in the next movie. Peace.